Hello and welcome to the English Listen Lab. Today, we begin the emotional journey of Ethan, a young musician who once ruled the internet with his viral songs and millions of fans. But at the peak of his success, he suddenly disappeared without a trace. While the world speculated, Ethan was silently battling severe depression, losing his passion for music along the way. One day, he stumbled upon an old guitar, his very first, and strummed a few chords. What started as a personal escape soon reignited his love for music, leading him back to the stage in a way he never expected. Let's follow Ethan's incredible journey as he rediscovers his voice and inspires millions once again. The Lost Voice, a musician's journey back to the stage. Chapter 1. The Rise to Fame. Ethan never intended to become famous. It all started when he uploaded a cover song to YouTube one evening just for fun. He didn't think much about it, just a simple recording in his bedroom. But by the next morning, his phone was exploding with notifications. The video had gone viral. Within weeks, record labels were reaching out. His subscriber count soared past 1 million. His original songs topped online charts. Fans flooded his social media with love and admiration. At 21, he was living every musician's dream. But behind the scenes, Ethan was struggling. Chapter 2. The Pressure of Perfection. Fame was exciting at first, but it quickly became overwhelming. Every song he released had to be better than the last. Every social media post had to be perfect. People expected him to be happy, confident, and always creating. But Ethan wasn't always happy. He was exhausted. He barely slept. He doubted every song he wrote. And worst of all, he felt like he was losing himself. The pressure to stay at the top was suffocating. Then one day he broke down completely. He canceled a live performance last minute. He stopped posting. Then, without warning, he vanished from the internet. Nobody knew where he was. Chapter 3. Disappearing into the shadows. For months, Ethan isolated himself from the world. He moved back to his small apartment, deleted his social media, and ignored calls from managers, friends, and fans. Depression had taken over his life. Music, the thing that had once brought him joy, felt like a burden. He couldn't write, couldn't sing, couldn't even pick up his guitar. Days blurred into weeks. Weeks turned into months. The longer he stayed away, the harder it felt to return. He wasn't sure if he'd ever play music again. Until one day, something unexpected happened. Chapter 4. The Forgotten Guitar. One rainy afternoon, Ethan was cleaning out his apartment when he found it. An old guitar hidden under a pile of boxes. It was the first guitar he had ever owned, the one his father had given him when he was 13. It was scratched, missing a string, and slightly out of tune. Without thinking, he picked it up. His fingers found the familiar chords. He strummed lightly, and for the first time in months, he felt something. It wasn't pressure. It wasn't expectation. It was peace. That night, he played for hours. Not for fame, not for fans, but for himself. And without realizing it, he had taken the first step back to music. Chapter 5. Playing for no one. Ethan still wasn't ready to return to the world, but he kept playing. He wrote songs about his pain, his loneliness, his journey. He recorded them on his phone, not thinking about whether anyone would hear them. One night, on impulse, he uploaded a short, raw recording to YouTube. No fancy production, no edits, just him, his guitar, and his emotions. He didn't check the video after posting. He didn't care if anyone watched it. But the next morning, his phone was buzzing non-stop. Thousands of comments, thousands of views. People weren't just listening. They were relating. Your song describes exactly how I feel. Thank you. I thought I was alone, but your music makes me feel understood. This saved my life tonight. Ethan realized something. Music still had power, and maybe, just maybe, it could save him too. Chapter 6. A Second Chance at Music. Ethan couldn't believe the response to his raw, unpolished song. He had posted it without thinking, expecting nothing, yet thousands of people had connected with it on a deep level. For the first time in a long time, he felt like his music mattered, not because of numbers, but because it meant something to people. Encouraged by the response, he started uploading more. No fancy studio, no auto-tune, just him and his guitar. His music was no longer about fame, it was about expression and healing. But as his following grew again, an old question resurfaced. Was he ready to return to the industry that once broke him? Chapter 7. Facing the Past. One evening, Ethan received an email from an old manager. "We need to talk. People are asking about you. Labels are interested." For a moment, he froze. The industry that once drained him of his passion was now knocking on his door again. This time, he wouldn't let it control him. If he was going to return, it would be on his own terms. He agreed to an interview, not with a magazine, but on his own YouTube channel. Sitting in front of the camera, he spoke openly about his struggles, his disappearance, and why music had become painful for him. It was the first time he had ever been fully honest with his fans. And the response? Overwhelming. People respected him more than ever. But was he ready to step onto a real stage again? Chapter 8. The Invitation. Just when Ethan thought he had found his balance, he received an unexpected message, an invitation to perform live at a small charity concert. A year ago, he would have said no. But now, he wasn't sure. Performing had once been his greatest fear, the pressure, the expectations, the anxiety. But something had changed. This wasn't about being a star anymore. It was about connecting through music. After a long night of thinking, he said yes. The next challenge? Stepping onto the stage again after all this time. Chapter 9. The First Performance. The night of the concert arrived. As Ethan stood backstage, he could feel his heartbeat racing. Would he be able to do this? When his name was called, he stepped onto the stage. The lights were bright. The crowd was silent. His hands trembled as he picked up his guitar. For a moment, everything froze. Then he took a deep breath and strummed the first chord. And just like that, the fear faded. He poured his heart into every note, every lyric, every moment. This wasn't about perfection. It was about feeling. By the time he finished, the crowd was on their feet, applauding louder than ever before. He had done it. He had found his way back. Chapter 10. A New Beginning. That performance changed everything. Ethan didn't just return to music. He redefined what it meant to him. No longer chasing fame, no longer seeking approval. He played because he loved it. He started touring, not at massive arenas, but at intimate venues where he could truly connect with people. His music became a symbol of hope, reminding others that they weren't alone in their struggles. When asked about his comeback in an interview, he simply said, "I never really left. I just had to find my way back." Ethan's journey wasn't about regaining fame. It was about rediscovering his passion and using it to heal himself and others. His story became a testament to the power of music, resilience, and the importance of staying true to oneself. Have you ever found comfort in music during tough times? What song helped you through? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to follow for more inspiring stories like this.